Panama Buena Vista Union School District Board meeting. It was on October 23rd, a Tuesday, at 7 o'clock, and the district office where the board meeting was held is located on 4200 Ash Road in Bakersfield. The district caters to grades K through 8. The board member president is Mr. Bruce Blair, and there are a total of 5 board members. However, at the meeting I attended, there was only 3 present. The board member president himself was not there, but instead the vice president, Mr. Keith Woolridge, was there. Mrs. Linda Brenner, who is clerk and board member, was there. And then Mrs. Cheryl Paula, who is a trustee, also was present at the board meeting. The board meets a total of twice a month regularly. They're usually scheduled on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month, and they're always held on a Tuesday at 7 p.m., and those are their regularly scheduled meetings, but they also have special meetings that may or may not be open to the public, but usually their regular meetings are always open to the public, and they always put out their agenda at least 72 hours in advance. The board is responsible, as it says on their website and in their info pack. It says the governing board is elected by the community to provide leadership and citizen oversight of the district. The board shall ensure that the district is responsive to the values, beliefs, and priorities of the community. The board will work with the superintendent to fulfill its major roles, which include setting the direction for the district through a process that involves the community, parents, guardians, students, and staff, and is focused on student learning and achievement. They're also responsible for establishing an effective and efficient organizational structure for the district, providing support to the superintendent and staff as they carry out the board's direction. Their duties also include ensuring accountability to the public for the performance of the district's schools, providing community leadership and advocacy on behalf of students, the district's educational program, the public education in order to build support within the community and at the state and national levels. The meeting itself I felt was very large, the attendance at least. When I went, I was expecting to be one of very few, when in actuality there was no seats really left. There's people standing up in the back. The order of the meeting seems to be planned out, and they go and they follow their agenda very closely to what they give out to people in advance, so you pretty much know exactly how the meeting's going to go. They called the meeting to order a little late, not by very much, but I didn't know how strict they were on the exact time they started. They called attendance, and then they had a flag salute, and a little girl named Riley, I believe, who is a student body president at her school, came and led the attending people in the flag salute. They gave a time for the guests to sign the registrar, which most people had already signed as they walked in the door. They approved the minutes from the last meeting, and then they allowed for public comments. Only one person had signed up for public comment, and his name was David George, and he spoke on the issues of Prop 30 and Resolution 1305. He seemed to be disappointed that the board had not set aside specific time on one of their meeting agendas to discuss or push Prop 30. He thought it would be beneficial if the board pushed voting yes on Prop 30. After that, we heard from the superintendent's report, which included information like upcoming oral language festivals, report cards going out, and how Measure P, which was also something that could be voted on in November, was going. After hearing from the superintendent, we heard a board member report. I think we heard specifically about the medical expense reimbursement plan and how much they saved moving to this new plan. Than from what they had it before with their insurance. They then, as a board, voted on consenting to the new agenda for the next meeting, which was very quick. And then they went on to old business, which for them was they had an auction on district land that was going to be for sale to the general public. So I think this is why the meeting was more packed. There was a few people who were actually bidding for the piece of land that was being auctioned off. And the bidding started with written bids that they opened, and they showed them all to the public, and they had to meet a specific amount increase. And after the written bids were in, I believe Black Ops Realty, yes, was in the lead, and then a representative from that company was actually there in case someone who verbally outbid them. And so there was basically a bidding war between a private party and then this Black Ops Realty company, just going back and forth. And it finally ended with Black Ops Realty having the highest bid. I forget what it was, but I know it was over $1 million. And so that actually took up most of the time of the meeting. And then after that, they talked about when the next scheduled meeting would be, and then they adjourned their meeting. My general impression of the meeting was it was very quick. I thought it would be very much longer and drawn out with, like, looking at the actual agenda, there's so many points, but being in the meeting, a lot of them are just grazed over quickly, and I feel like this probably has to do with they do this so often, twice a month. They know exactly how things are supposed to go, so they're pretty efficient with getting through some of these things that seem like they would take a long time pretty quickly. As I said, it was packed. There was people standing on the sides. I noticed there was a lot of college students there, probably for the same reason I was. And there was families there and the people who were bidding. So it was very packed, and I thought that I was going to be one of few, as I said, but I was delighted to see that there was a lot of people there. And although there were a lot of people there to see the bidding, I know a lot of it had to do with, just being interested in their district, because I saw some teachers and people who worked in the district just there to see what's going on in their district that they work in. I found it interesting that how the bidding was held. It was actually quite exciting, so it's quite interesting to go on that night. And I also found it interesting that the way they do public comments, how you have to sign up first before the meeting starts and submit a form, and then you have, I believe, you're limited to 3 minutes per item. And so if multiple people are speaking on that same item, that actual item is limited to 20 minutes of speaking total. So I just thought it was interesting that they give someone 3 uninterrupted minutes of speaking so that they speak their entire what they feel they need to get out before anybody comments.